Hey, what's up everybody? This is Damron. We're playing Halo, the Master Chief Collection, specifically Halo Reach, which was just added not too long ago. We're doing the Lasso Guide. We are on Part 8, the Package, which is really the second to last playable mission. I mean, other than Lone Wolf, but really the second to last mission that we have to get through. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the reason I made this guide is because a lot of the Lasso runs out there, a lot of the guides out there are for solo, and things are different in co-op. The enemy encounters can be different, and the skulls are obviously a little bit different. So we'll talk about some of the different scenarios, but being co-op, one, the main thing is the Iron Skull, right? So in co-op, having the Iron Skull reset you at the last checkpoint if someone dies, whereas in solo, if you die, you're going to restart the level. A quick workaround if you are solo is to simply save and quit right when you die, and then you can come back into the checkpoint. Now in co-op, if you die, you'll restart at a checkpoint, but if you ever save and quit in the middle of a mission, when you come back, you will restart that mission. So in co-op, you must beat a mission in one playthrough. So in this first area, again, we'll touch on a few other things about the Lasso Guide as we're moving forward and we have time to discuss, but in this first area, as you saw, we really used that left side and those rocks for cover. We wanted to take out that sniper that's in that tower right in front of me now, and then obviously all those grunts, and we're going to move up into this building and use this building as cover to hopefully eliminate any fuel rod grunts that are kind of hanging out here. These ghosts that are filled with grunts, I don't know what this one was doing here. It was kind of unusual, but usually they'll be moving around. I was able to kind of pick him off, but what you want to do, I'll show you with the other one. If you just stay in that building and you get their attention, they'll actually just kind of drive right up to the door for you, and you can hijack them very easily. So while we're doing that, another thing about solo, I just want to mention, Halo Completionist Silver has a wonderful lasso guide for solo play, so feel free to check that out if you're rolling solo. But again, co-op is more of a mixture of kind of his strategies as well as some speedrun strategies, because we're going to have a little bit of more leniency to what we can do due to the more forgivable checkpoint system that you're going to have in co-op. But some things are actually a little bit harder because some of the sections that you encounter in co-op actually have different enemies. Alright, so keep that in mind. Now in this first area, I cut it forward there because I was kind of scavenging the area for any fuel rod ammo. Before we progress up to the tank, go ahead and make sure you pick up all that fuel rod ammo in the first area that you can. It's going to be very helpful a little bit later into this mission. This mission isn't too bad, y'all. It's really not too bad. It's just very long. But with the strategies I'll show you, it's actually a very safe mission. You shouldn't have too much trouble getting through this mission. You just have to take your time. A lot of the things that we're going to show you are just about taking your time. And the first of which is with the tank. If you didn't know this, and I actually didn't know this until recently, and when I was watching other people's videos like Silver, but the game typically will not shoot at you because you're actually in the front of the tank. So if you kind of use your back to back out, you can actually see the enemies before they technically see you, because the AI is structured to aim at you and not necessarily the tank. So by sticking your butt out and actually backing out first, you can see enemies and getting shots on them. And so this tank section, we're actually going to utilize this strategy a lot. We're going to be using driving backwards to get shots on a lot of things before really they're going to get shots on us. Another thing that I want to mention is that if you are using the workaround to like go into a custom match and using a sticky note or something like that to put an aimer on your screen, which is totally fine. If you all want to do that, please feel free. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I personally don't do it. I prefer to, play Lasso for what it is. I kind of enjoyed the challenge of having a HUD completely blank, right? It changes the game. But if you do that, keep in mind the aimer of vehicles is actually a little bit lower than that of weapons. So you may want to actually put a dot for your gun and a dot for your tank or wraith or your vehicle weapons if you are choosing to do that. Another thing that we're going to talk about with the blind skull is your weapons. You can actually press back on your controller and it'll show you which weapon you have equipped. You can also look at your shadow to see which weapon you have equipped, and also weapons make a unique sound when you equip them, so that's a way to know exactly which weapon is in your hands. So you can see I'm just taking my time here. I'm actually driving backwards, so I've turned my gun turret all the way around and I'm progressing backwards, and as I move, that'll allow me to see enemies. Right, there's going to be a couple ghosts that come down this hill here, and generally you'll be able to get some shots on them before they shoot at you. Now they're actually shooting at my buddy who's in a ghost as well. So my buddy is just hanging out in the ghost. He's really at this point just kind of hanging back behind me. You really want your tank to kind of progress through this first section of the level. So after you've cleared out all these enemies and cleared out those wraiths, we're ready to move on. Another thing that you can do if you want to is you can turn competitive scoring on, and by doing that you'll see double kills, headshots, things like that, and you'll know exactly when you are killing an enemy, because if you don't use that, sometimes you might not be sure. Again, I wanted to just keep it clean this playthrough and play lasso, straight up lasso, so I've got it just lasso run everything the way it's supposed to be. So progressing on to the next section, you're going to be tasked with destroying these guns up here. We actually just want to stay back and take them out from a distance. It's very easy to do so with the tank. We're just going to kind of speed this up here as we take them out, because once we take them out, we can actually just drive back past that entire section and not really have to fight any enemies up there. There is a group of jackals after you take out the first gun here. Well, I guess I'm not going to speed it up, so I'm still talking, but we're just going to progress up here after you take out that first gun. But if you look right here, there's a ghost and some jackals. So you definitely want to take out that ghost as it's coming down the hill at you. I don't think that ghost is there in single player, to be honest. Actually, that might be one of the variations, but I'm not 100% sure. Check me on that. But the jackals there aren't really an issue, okay? If you start shooting at them and killing them, great, but generally they'll just kind of retreat. So nonetheless, we're going to clean up this section. We're just going to finish killing this gun here, and then what you're going to see is we're just going to drive past everything after we've killed these guns from a distance.
Nice job, 6. Falcons, commence descent. Meet you inside the base, Lieutenant.
So my buddy's in the gunner seat here. Again, you can see we're just driving past all that. Thankfully, those enemies that shoot you back there will not follow you. Now, when you come up to this next kind of, area here, you've been here before when we were on Oni Sword Base, that little platform has 2 fuel rod grunts. Sometimes you'll blow up that tower and the fuel rod grunts will actually fall out and still survive, so be very careful. Actually, you could see him over there when I took that tank shot right there. He was actually still alive, so be very careful about that, because sometimes when you kill that tower you may not actually kill those grunts. I don't know if they're still alive, but nonetheless. Another thing is also you can hop out and grab that fuel rod ammo if you want to add to the fuel rod that we have that we're going to be using coming up. There will be 3 ghosts in this section. You'll have one sitting there right when you get there. After you take out that ghost, one will generally come over the hill. That one that I just killed there generally comes over the hill as well. I'm not sure why he just sat back there and basically let me take him out, but nonetheless, after you do that, again, we're going to use the method of driving backwards, and that's going to allow us to see things like this Revenant, who, as you can see, is just sitting there and watching me completely miss my shots. I was able to shoot like 4 shots before it even really recognized I was there. So it's really a great method to take out these things before they really get shots on you. If I was aiming a little bit better, I would have been able to kill it without it ever firing at me. So we're going to take that out right here, and then you can see that shade turret in the distance. That one's not really anything to worry about because it can't reach you. The bullets actually disappear before they get to where we are right now. The other one that I was shooting right there is the one you have to worry about. That has fuel rod shots on it, and it will destroy you very fast. But you can see these shade bullets from a distance are actually disappearing. And then as we kill those and pull out, there's another shade turret kind of right behind these trees here that I'm shooting. You can actually shoot it through the trees. You know, again, if you're a little more accurate, you should be able to kill it before it ever even gets a shot at you. So there it go, it blew up. And now we're able to progress on. And then one of the most dangerous fuel rod turrets in the game is completely nullified by driving backwards. It's up in the rocks here to the left. And again, stay backwards. When you drive frontwards, man, that thing will light you up very fast. Also, a second Revenant where I'm shooting now, kind of opposite of that rock. There's a second Revenant down there. Usually it's going to come out. You can see it there. It just came out. It usually comes out a little bit sooner. I'm not sure what he was waiting on than this particular playthrough. But again, you should be able to clean him up as long as you're paying attention to that area. So now look up into that cliffside and you'll see that fuel rod shade turret. By backing up, boom, he doesn't take a single shot at me. So that is really a safe method to get you through this section. If you take these methods, you'll also get the achievement for making it all the way back to the end of this section with a tank that's still intact. It's a very safe method. There's only one more Revenant that we need to worry about at the top of this hill right here. You could play it a little more safe than I did right here. You could still back up if you wanted to and make it a little bit more safe. I think I got a little bit risky and decided to just take it head on. There's really no need to do that. If you want to, again, use the backup method, and that's even safer. Nonetheless, once we clear this area out, we're ready to go back and grab some ghosts. They're actually kind of straight ahead where I am now. I'm going to drive around and we're going to get those because we're going to use these ghosts to speed past the next section. And again, you should nab an achievement if you don't have it already to make it to this point with your Scorpion still intact. I drove back here thinking that I could get those fuel rod ammo, but it turns out if you go through that entire section and then come back, like the fuel rods seem to just disappear. And when we drove back there, like I didn't edit that. It actually teleported us back to this area. So if you did want to grab that fuel rod from those grunts, be sure you do it before you clear out this section, because if you go back to that area, I even thought about it restarting, and I was like, man, I really wanted to get that fuel rod, but it couldn't, because once you hop out of the rave, it just teleports you back. You actually can't go back that far for some reason. I don't know. I mean, maybe I could walk back there. I don't know, but I was like, screw it. Anyway, so once we've got these ghosts, we're kind of ready to progress to the next section. There's a health pack right there on the left, so be sure you grab that before we advance. So you should have a DMR and you should have a fuel rod with a relatively decent amount of ammo in it for this next section. Alright, so we're pretty much ready to progress on. We were trying to see if there was a second health pack in here, but we couldn't find one, so I think there's only that one right there on the wall. If anyone knows of a second one, you know, feel free to put that in the comments. But once we get into the ghost, we're going to go wide out here, and we're just going to just speed straight past everything. We're just going to boost all the way to the wall, immediately hop out. You can grab this health pack if you need to, and then we're going to go to the left and through this door, and boom, we're past all of that. We don't need to fight any of that. The next room that we're coming to is the reason we brought the fuel rod. We're going to use the fuel rod to annihilate these shield jackals because we just don't want to mess with them on lasso. Just don't even hesitate. Just boom, boom, boom. This is why we brought it. Just light them up. There's no reason to save any of this fuel rod ammo. We just want to get rid of those shield guys and be able to progress into the room. Once you've kind of cleared this first ramp off, this room becomes much easier. That's really what we want the fuel rod for, just to kind of clear out this beginning area. Once we've done that, you'll see some needler rifle jackals kind of coming up from the top ramp. They're easily shootable because they don't have shields. So once you kind of clear out that first and second layer by walking back to where I just walked, Noble team should advance into this room. So you're going to see me do that again, and then once they kind of advance into the room, you just want to slowly take this room with them. So we go up the ramp, and now Noble team's going to join us, and we just want to take our time and take out these jackals. Interestingly, though, if you use the needler rifle, you can actually shoot through the floor, and they actually can't shoot you back. So you're going to see me exchange my fuel rod right here for the needler rifle and attempt to, but this jackal over here was giving me so much problems because every time I was trying to shoot through the floor, I was getting shot at by these guys that were kind of on the cross section. So if you take them out, you can actually use the flooring to shoot them easier. But one of the difference is this room on co-op is there's more enemies. So there's more enemies in this room on co-op, and I had a hard time, you know, not being shot at from people that had a look at me. As opposed to in solo, you'll see a lot of people just hang out where I'm at and shoot everybody underneath the floor. I was having a very difficult time getting the enemies there and not in areas where they still had a shot on me. So keep that in mind. There's also a weapon locker right at the bottom of this room that has tons of DMR ammo in it. So there's really no to be shy here. With that needler rifle ammo, we can super combine the shield jackals, and with our DMR, we can headshot everybody else. So just take your time and progress up these stairways slowly. That's the whole key of this level, is taking your time. It's really not too difficult, y'all. It's just about taking your time and, you know, not rushing it.
Taking fire! Pushing cover!
Alright, one of the things important there, you saw me grab that plasma pistol as you've kind of started to clean out this room. We definitely want to have a plasma pistol moving into the next section. You've got that weapon locking down there that has tons of DMR and ammo in it. So as soon as you finish clearing out this room, you want to have full DMR, and you want to have basically as full plasma pistol as you can have. So be sure you grab that, and we're ready to progress on. So you see we've kind of cleaned out this room. More DMR ammo right there on the right on the top level. So make sure you have full DMR. There's a health pack right here on the wall if you need it, you or your partner. So my partner definitely needed that, so grab that. And there's also a health pack coming up in the next room that you can grab as well. So there are 2 health packs before we head into the next room. So there's one right here next to this dead Marine. Boom, I think I picked that up. Yeah, so I picked that one up. And then also, as you're in this fight in the next section, there is a health pack. So right here next to the powers there, I think I actually come back and grab it. But the first thing you want to do when this door opens, immediately run in and take out this engineer. As long as you take out that engineer, this room isn't too bad. So we just take out that engineer as fast as possible, and then we're going to fall back to the doorway. Noble team's going to keep the pressure on, and we're really just going to kind of use this doorway to stay safe. With the engineer out of the way, we can get back to our trusty plasma pistol, bat, 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 pull out the DMR and finish him off. And we're going to do that to take out all these invisible elites. There's about 5 of them, I think, in co-op. So let's take our time. We're going to clean them up.
Getting resituated. Hostile fire!
So that's not too bad. Once you take all of them out, a general elite will pop up on top of that ramp there. You do not have to fight him. If you actually jump on these, he's got a concussion rifle you can see there, but if you jump up on these structures here, we can actually just jump up into the next room. I'm just not good, right? I'm just a trash player, but I keep it trashy for you guys on these playthroughs, but I do eventually stick it. But again, use these, just take your time. You should be able to jump up onto this third one here, and once you're up there, God, I missed it again, of course I did. Well, let me grab this health here on the wall because I've probably taken some damage, but jump up, take your time, jump up on the third one, and then we can jump up into this window. In this particular thing, it may have been faster to kill him, but if you take that way, you can just interact with that button, and then that'll start the next cutscene. So we'll skip that cutscene, and we're going to enter the final area of this mission. And this is going to be a very long fight, and I'm going to show you the safest way to manage this fight. It's very safe. You don't really have to worry about anything. It just takes a while, and that's okay on LASO. Okay, you have this objective to defend Halsey's lab. The first thing you want to do is run up to the lab. There's 4 health packs, so be sure you grab one if you need it, and then make sure you grab one of these jet packs off the wall. They will not be lit up for one reason or the other, but be sure you grab one. We're going to take a jet pack up onto this roof here, and that should be able to give you enough height to hijack one of these Banshees. So go ahead and hijack. Both people are going to hijack a Banshee. And don't worry about fighting the Banshees. If you're co-op and both people on your team have hijacked a Banshee, another Banshee will come into the fight, but it generally won't shoot at you that much. And what we're going to do now that we have a Banshee, one, you and your partner, I activate a couple. I think I have a huge fail coming up actually where I try to activate one and I just hop back into the Banshee instead of activating it. But you and your teammate, there's 4 of them. There's one right here. You can see the one in front of me, and there's one just to the right of Halsey's lab. So you want to activate those. They do kind of help you out, but don't be too risky about it. This kind of part here with the Banshee, it's very safe. We're just going to stay yeah, here's the fail. I'll try to activate the turret, and I just got back in the Banshee, and I was like, all right, forget it. So another thing to keep in mind, you do want to stay with a high altitude, because if you're too low, and it happens to me a couple times actually, and one of the times I have a very bad checkpoint, and that really sucked. But if you're too low, the grunts will hit you with a fully charged plasma pistol, and that'll obviously make you just fall to the ground helplessly, and that can be very bad for you. So we want to keep in high altitude. So now me and my partner are in Banshees. We're just going to take our time, and we're essentially just going to take out enemies as we can. You can try to ram them if you want to. It's a little bit reckless, I think, to ram them, but you're gonna have more freedom on co-op, because if you die, it's generally a checkpoint, right? And not as bad as solo where you have to save and quit and reload, and or forget that you're playing solo and have to start the whole lever over. So you don't want to do that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fly around, and we're just going to kind of shoot everything, and basically what we're waiting for is when the game tells us that a Wraith is coming into the fight. While we're cleaning up this section, as always, big thanks to all my followers. I appreciate all the support you all have given me. It's been a blast growing the channel. Thanks again for everything. The best thing you all can do is like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I don't monetize this channel, so obviously YouTube is not going to recommend it much. So the best thing y'all can do for me is just to like and subscribe. Keep growing the community, get involved, get into the comments, participate. But big thanks to everybody. So there you saw what I was talking about earlier. I got hit with a fully charged plasma shot from a grunt because I was a little too low. That's the danger you're gonna have if you're too low there. So if you stay high and just kind of hit them with your Banshee bombs, it's very safe. Especially with 2 people, up here just kind of Banshee bombing everybody. And then of course Noble Team. Wow, I don't remember that. That was such an amazing shot. Oh my gosh. Somebody should clip that out. That was amazing. But as long as you're high altitude, generally you're going to be pretty safe. And obviously Noble Team can't die, so it's really a time thing here, right? We're just taking our time and, you know, killing what we can, when we can, and staying safe about it. That was that bad checkpoint I was telling you about. So I got hit with the plasma rifle right there, and you can see I was getting hit by those concussion shots. That checkpoint was right there. I died from that initial plasma pistol, and that was terrible. I died so many times. But anyway, that's when the Wraith comes in. When the Wraith comes in, we're going to head over here. It will not turn around and shoot at you, and neither will the gunner. So as long as you stay up on this platform, we'll just use our plasma pistol to pop the gunner's shields, and then we'll headshot him, and then we can board the Wraith, and we will take out the driver via the same method that we have done before. We'll beat it down twice to punch off the you know, shield that he has, or the hatch that's on top of the Wraith, and then we're gonna hop off, and we can use our plasma pistol, jump on, and just burst down the elite here until his shield goes away, and you can then melee him, and we will take a hold of this Wraith. So once we have a hold of the Wraith, we're going to kind of progress forward here. I'm going to show you a very safe place to be. Of course, activate the turrets if you want to. They really don't do much damage, but they will gather the attention of the enemy, which can be helpful. And now in this scenario, you know, what's different than this in co-op is that, you know, there's only one Wraith, so your co-op partners really just want to stay up in the Banshees and continue doing work in the Banshees. Stay elevated. Whoever doesn't get in the Wraith, stay in the Banshees. So you can see my buddy dropping Banshee bombs down on the enemies here, so that's going to be helpful. But there are going to be more enemies coming in this section on co-op, so keep that in mind. You will be at this section longer, dealing with more elites, you know, more brutes and stuff in this section than you would in solo, but that's okay. You got more you know, arsenal to deal with, right? You got a Wraith and a Banshee, whoever's in the Banshee. So anyway, so really I'm just taking out this group of enemies here, and eventually once you kind of clear out everybody, I'll show you where you're going to want to go to be safe in this kind of section. So, and that's really going to want to be the music changes, and I'll show you that. I'll point it out, but I'm going to let it play so you can hear the music that changes, because when you hear this music that I'm going to let you hear, that's when you want to go where I'll show you to go.
Hold on, Spartans. I'm getting close.
So right there, once Halsey tells you that she's been getting close and the music gets a little bit more dramatic, that's when you want to turn around, go to the left, and come down this hill here, and we're going to hide behind this rock. Hiding behind this rock is going to be a very safe place for us, so that the things that are dropping out of these phantoms do not cause us much damage. You know, if you get completely behind the rock, the phantom turret won't hit you. I was being a little risky, but really you want to try to get some shots on these ghosts before they take off if you can. If you can't, it's okay, no big deal. But you can see right there, boom, I'm going to shoot them in the back. I already had gotten one shot on them when they landed, so that's pretty good. So once you hear that kind of change, and once Halsey tells you to defend, that's when you want to come back to this area. And there's going to be a lot of enemies for you to kill. There's going to be several drop ships that drop off elites and grunts in different areas of the map, and they're going to progress up to the lab. But you're just going to stay back here, and you're just going to slowly launch your wraith shots up there. You can move up a little bit to get closer shots. You know, let it play for a little bit, but eventually I'm just going to go ahead and cut forward, because you know you could be here for 5 to 10 minutes, you know, depending on how accurate you are, right? But you know, one of the things is that you know, with the tough luck, they dive out of the way a lot. But eventually, you know, you will take everybody out. As you can see here, I did cut it forward, and the music will kind of change to this. So once it kind of changes to that music right there, that kind of more fast-paced music, that is the sign again to come back to this same rock, okay? And during that time, you will get another phantom. I died right there, so I had to cut it, but another phantom's going to come in with a ghost, and you want to be sure you're behind it, because you know you don't want this stuff to drop in behind you. Right, so that's pretty key, and you can take out a lot of these enemies when they drop in if you can get some good shots on them. And then obviously I'd killed that ghost before it even dropped off, so that's good. And we're just going to continue on with the same method. Again, after you know, that music has changed, we're just going to stay back here, and we're going to continue to light up things as they call. That was my buddy. He went in and splattered that. I didn't even notice that during the playthrough. That was awesome. But again, just kind of take it all out. I cut again forward. Once you kill everybody, again, Halsey will say the package is almost ready. Okay, and when she says that, again, that is our cue to come back behind this rock for one last time. And again, I'm cutting this up because this is a very long section, okay? But as long as you stay back where I'm at and just keep firing your ray shots, keep staying safe, and whoever's up in the Banshee just keeps in high altitude and just stays safe from all that fire. You know, Noble Team's going to draw the fire of most of those Covenants. But again, once she says the package is almost ready, we're going to go back to this rock, back behind this rock for one last time, and the last Phantom that's going to come in is going to have a Wraith on it. And if you just stay back, we don't want to shoot at it yet. We want to go ahead and let it just drop into the field of battle, and by letting it do that, it'll actually progress forward, and then it'll come back and it actually won't shoot at you. So you're going to see it go forward, and then I know that I can come out. Once it's gone forward, I'm actually safe to come out, and I can come to this section, and he's going to turn around and just fire shots up at the lab, and you can just shoot it in the back, and you don't even have to worry about it. So we'll go ahead and kill this Wraith right here, and that's basically it. Once you kill that Wraith, you go forward a little bit. There is a sword elite that you're going to need to worry about, because if he charges you, he can actually kill you pretty quickly. He'll just miraculously destroy this Wraith. I think you see him come out at me here in a second. He's right there. Was that him right in front of me? Yeah, so you want to be sure you take him out. That's really the only thing that you have to fret. But again, we're staying back. We're just playing it safe. This is a very long section. This is why this mission takes so long if you're going to use this safe strategy. But again, it is a very safe strategy. We're going to be good here. You can take out this engineer right here and then take out the sword. But eventually, Halsey's going to tell you that the lab is unlocked. Generally, there'll be some enemies alive still when that happens. I do always have to kill this sword elite. I don't know if that's part of the trigger. But once you kill that sword elite, eventually you're going to get the objective complete sign, and you're going to be tasked with going to Halsey's lab. So once you get that objective complete, you can see I just abandoned everything. I don't care that there's more elites. I hop out. I'm going to use that jetpack that we got to go around to the right side. We're going to go around this building. There's never any enemies over here, so you don't have to worry about that. We're just going to go ahead and jump up here onto the platform, and we're pretty much done with the level. Just interact with the door, and the level cutscene will end, and we will be done with the second to the last mission. We only have one mission left in our LASO playthrough, so I hope you all are finding it helpful. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying playing on co-op, and just the Co-Op LASO guide is helping you out. If you like my stuff, feel free to like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you in the final mission of Halo Reach Co-op on LASO.